Hello, welcome to Coffee by the Fireside with historian, moi, Diana Martinez, okay? And, instead of hot coffee, today we're having iced coffee because it's June and it's hot. You know what else June is? Pride Month. And we're going to be celebrating Sylvia Rivera. And she is an important part to how Pride began. And Sylvia Rivera, she was a fierce warrior in the inclusion of transgender people and queer people of color into the larger LGBTQ plus liberation movement. She was known as one of the very first people to throw a Molotov cocktail at the gay bar Stonewall Inn. However, in an interview, she made the correction. She said, "I wasn't the first one." She said she was the second one to throw a Molotov cocktail. She began her life assigned male at birth, and she was raised by her grandmother. At the age of 11, she was bullied at school and suspended. And after that, she ended up running away from home. Okay? And as a runaway at such a young age, she faced living on the streets and also sexual exploitation. Yeah. Okay? Very sad. By 1963, she found somebody that to her was like her mother, and that person was Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha P. Johnson was not only like her mom, but she was also a collaborator for activism and organizing in their community, and she was also an inspiration, okay? And a teacher for Sylvia Rivera. Sylvia Rivera was 17 years of age when she went to the Stonewall Inn on June 28th, 1969. She said she threw the second Molotov cocktail that night. Well, actually, it was like 1 a.m, okay? The following year, the community held a parade to commemorate and celebrate the riot at Stonewall Inn. Okay, however, during the first parade, transgendered people were excluded from the parade, even though, despite the fact that both Sylvia and Marsha were two transgendered people of color who were important leaders in the initial riot and throughout the week of the Stonewall protest. And this is also important because transgendered people were targeted most during the police riots of gay bars, not just Stonewall Inn, but gay bars across New York City, okay? They would target transgender people, and especially transgender people of color, to arrest them. In 1973, Sylvia Rivera was allowed to contribute and participate in the parade. However, they still barred her from speaking at the parade. So within the community, she was still marginalized. So from the beginning, she faced challenges as a transgender woman of color within the community of the larger gay liberation movement. So she relentlessly fought for transgender and LGBTQ plus people of color to have a place within the gay liberation movement. She organized with Marsha to establish the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionary, STAR for short, in 1971. Important to note that at this time they used the word transvestite. However, today is considered offensive And something that needs to be retired in the past, we use the word transgender, okay? So STAR, they protested for the inclusion of gender rights as well. They also organized food and shelter and housing, especially for transgender youth and transgender people of color. Her work left a legacy of shelters and organizations to fight for the recognition of gender rights. By 1994, she was recognized for her importance in the New York Pride Parade, where she was once excluded. And that meant a lot to her. Her passion to advocate for low-income, transgender, and LGBTQ plus people of color still continues on, and it lives on today in the Sylvia Rivera Law Project. As the meme says, Pride started as a riot